Hey guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today we're gonna be testing a product that I'm kinda excited for. Lo and behold, this is Citrox from Agrellan, the product that I kept telling you about in my previous videos. This is supposed to be a replacement for Physan 20. As you might already know, Physan is not easily findable in Europe, and as far as I know, in the UK it's completely banned. Not sure exactly how that goes, but bottom line is we cannot really get Physan. Now Citrox does pretty much the same thing. It is a disinfectant, a bactericide, fungicide, even virucide, and also algae preventer, let's say. It all depends on the strength you are using. It is also non-toxic to plants and animals. It is based on citrus fruit, but to be quite honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what else it contains because nobody says. So right now I am just quoting the product or company. Don't take my words 100% for granted because I don't know entirely what this stuff contains. Reviews are actually pretty good for this product, so I decided to use it because I have an issue with algae. I do use clay medium, both semi-hydroponics and my hybrid setup, and inevitably I do get some algae, and I was thinking to try to control them with this product and not only disinfect other stuff with the product as well. Why not? But today we're gonna test it out on plants and see if indeed it harms plants or orchids. So here's the label. As I was saying, it only says here that Citrox is a cleaner based on extracts of citrus fruit. And we have a general dilution rate. We have 50 milliliters per per liter of water. This is the strong, let's say, ratio if you want to disinfect pots or even medium, clay medium, and so on. However, it appears that Citrox can be used for irrigation water, meaning the water you will use with the plants. Regarding the dilution rate, here's where things get very complicated. If I read on Agrellan's website, I see that I should dilute 1 liter of Citrox into 100,000 liters of water. And doing a little bit of math, that equals to 1 milliliter per 100 liters of water. That absolutely cannot be possible. So just to give you a visual image of what that means, I have here a syringe. Let me focus on it. 1 milliliter is this, okay? This amount, while 100 liters is my entire water bucket, the osmosis water. Look at this. 1 milliliter to this entire volume. Now, does this sound right to you? It absolutely doesn't sound right to me. I think there's a typo somewhere, so no, I don't think that's the dilution rate. Luckily though, this product is also available on orchidsupplies.co.uk, and there we have a different dilution rate. It would appear that 25 milliliters of product should be diluted in 100 liters of water. And again, doing a little math, 1 milliliter per 4 liters. Now that sounds more like it, I have to say. This quantity a little bit more. So this quantity into approximately a gallon for those of you who are in the USA or who measure with gallons, and 1 milliliter for 4 liters, you know, sounds pretty legit to me. So that's what I will use. So I bought my product actually from eBay. So I'll link you down below in the description to the seller, because if I'm not mistaken, they do have other stuff for sale as well, gardening related. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, check the description down below for the eBay link. Now, since my product didn't really come with a manual, I kept reading about it. And I think Agrellan themselves say that you should try to wear gloves. It's not toxic or anything, but the concentrate, it might burn a little bit because it is acidic. It is made out of citrus. So whenever you use substances, it's a good idea to wear gloves anyway. Now this box, or actually bottle, you can see it already comes with a graded cup actually, but it goes to 25 milliliters and I only need 1 milliliter. It is good, I guess, if you prepare a large quantity of water. Oh my goodness, don't tell me this is gonna be a pain to remove. I appreciate the seal, but it's gonna be hard to remove. It should have had a lid, and it doesn't. I cannot say it has a smell so far, but given I'm not very close to it, I don't want to stick my nose in there, but it doesn't really have any potent fragrance or smell, so that's good. All right, so I'm gonna take 1 milliliter from the solution here, and by the way, my syringe was clean, and I'm gonna drop it in my 4-liter jug here. Okay, I am going to smell. Ooh, alrighty, you guys, look at this. There's a little bit of a foam here. So yeah, it did make a difference. Okay, the solution I prepared doesn't really smell like anything, I have to say. So that might be good. Some sources say it actually smells a little like citrus. I don't feel it. I don't feel anything. But that's good. No fragrance is good for me. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna put this water in my spraying can, the one that I used for watering my orchids, and we're gonna take it for a test drive. Okay, so before we go ahead and try it on orchids, I just wanna see the pH of the solution because I do suspect it will be more acidic than my initial water. I just wanna see how acidic actually. I have a pH meter that I'm gonna use here. And this will take a while because this pH meter just needs to be shaken very well in order to give a correct reading. Just gonna cut it here and come back when I'm done. Okay, so let's shake this a little bit. As you can see, yeah, we do have quite a little bit of difference right here, considering I use osmosis water with a pH of around 7, let's say 6.97. So there is indeed quite the drop for the low quantity that I placed. And obviously if you use a bigger concentration, it will go even more acidic, but this level is perfectly fine for orchids actually. Orchids can actually be okay with a pH of 5.5 even, so everything is okay. Alrighty, now we're gonna take a candidate, and I already have one. Okay, the first candidate is a Phalaenopsis. She is in semi-hydro, and already I have a little bit of algae deposited on the surface of the pot, and the idea is to prevent it from going worse than this. So what I will do is first soak this pot into the prepared solution, but then I will let it be. In the sense that I will let the reservoir be soaked with the solution, and we'll see in the next few days how everything evolves. Alrighty, so now I'm just gonna soak it for 10 minutes. So it is absolutely clear to see that we do have product in here. It's not just water. My osmosis water doesn't create these bubbles. So yes, we do have product that is clear to see. But if this will affect the orchid or the algae or everything will be perfect, I don't know. We are just going to have to wait and see. But I think you noticed that indeed the product is definitely noticeable even in that very low concentration. Now here is something interesting. We have a brand new root tip right here. I think you can see it. If this product is at all detrimental for roots, it will start to show at the root tips. So we're gonna keep an eye on this root tip and we'll see what it does. Okay, so the next candidate is a Paphiopedilum orchid. This is in the older setup, and as you can see at the surface here, I do have quite an established algae community. As I was saying, this product is better used as a preventative measure, but I do want to see what happens with an established colony as well. The downside is that if I kill these algae and they manage to get trapped in the pockets, in the air pockets in the medium, it's not gonna be pretty. But then again, I was thinking to convert this guy in semi-hydro, so no harm done. I picked him because he has more sensitive roots than the Phalaenopsis, and I also have a root tip right here. So if this product affects orchid roots, he will be able to tell us as well. Now you have to keep in mind, you guys, this is not a tutorial and I'm not saying you should use this product. This is my first attempt and I'm testing it out on orchids that have growing root tips. And I absolutely know there is a chance they will be ruined. But I think it really is the best way to test something. So what I'm doing right now is not necessarily what you should do unless this turns out to be completely non-toxic. But we'll see in the following days. Right now, I'm not sure what to tell you. So we'll leave this guy soak in the solution for 10 minutes as well. And the last orchid we will test this on is an Oncidium, which again has more sensitive roots than the Phalaenopsis. Now, even though my Oncidium has some root tips that have stopped growing due to lack of moisture, nothing else, I do have a growing root tip here. So as we can see, there is nothing really burned. And what we're trying to establish is if this product actually burns. Oh, I need a bigger decorative container. Sorry about that. Okay, this is better. Let's fill this decorative container as well and let it sit for 10 minutes. Okay, so first let's remove the Phalaenopsis. This is a really weird angle because I have the camera in front. Oopsie, there we go. And here's where I had my algae problem. And given it was just a tiny bit, I'm not sure if I see any more algae. I'm not entirely sure if the problem is as severe as it used to be. Do you see any more algae here? And yeah, I think I do still see just a little bit of algae, but because I kept turning this orchid around, as you can see, there's almost no water in the reservoir. So I'm just gonna pour whatever was here. Oh, and P.S. This doesn't look green or anything. Doesn't really look weird, so I'm not sure what to tell you if it worked or not, but if it manages to maintain the algae under control, then I'm happy. So I'm just gonna pour back a little bit of the solution to fill my reservoir, and I'm gonna put this orchid back in her place. Okay, next up the Paphiopedilum, and I have a funny suspicion this one will be a little bit more interesting. Let me show you why. Let's see. Do you see on the surface of the medium bits and pieces of algae? They're green, those are algae. It's not dirt or anything. They're moving around, so part of the algae has been dislodged. Now, if the water will be green or not, I don't know. Only one way to find out, I guess, right? Let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. The water is green, you guys. Yep, totally. The water is green, and if I would have done this with normal water, it wouldn't have turned out like that. The algae would have stayed in place. As you can see, it's not a miracle product or anything. The algae is still there, and it's really hard to remove algae once it's deposited, but it did do something. This water is not brownish, it's green. I mean, in real life, I see it as greenish. So let's take a look at the root tip though. I think it still looks quite good. It didn't have any immediate effect, but we will have to see in the following days. And lastly, the Oncidium that I didn't film, I needed 2 hands for this guy. The water was not as green as in the case of the Paphiopedilum, but I did see a few bits and pieces of algae, and also the roots look okay so far. Let's check that root tip. It's here. It still looks good. So I can at least say that there is no immediate damage, but I will not rinse these orchids, and I want to see what happens further. So as a first impression, I have to say, yeah, I don't think this stuff is really all that toxic. Certainly it does not smell like chemicals and all sorts of weird ingredients. Of course, I do not know what exactly it contains because it is not clearly specified. All we know is that it contains fruit extract, and mainly citrus extract. But other than that, I think it's a little peculiar that we don't know, and I think we should know. But fragrance-wise, it has nothing of the conventional cleaners, let's say nothing that reminds of bleach, of ammonia, of alcohol, of sodas, or anything of the sort. It smells like nothing to me, so I do tend to believe it doesn't rely on the conventional sterilizers and cleaners. A very dilute quantity in water does still produce some bubbles, so it is actually really concentrated. What you get here is a concentrated solution. And it does also have some sort of effect on algae, but don't imagine it is an algicide that completely removes and kills off all of the algae. I will see in the following days if at least it can prevent them, or if it can take care of an already infested pot with multiple applications. I also need to see if it affects orchid roots. At a first glance, it doesn't. And this is important because if a product would be so incredibly damaging, it would act on first contact. And P.S., this is not an insecticide. It does not kill anything. I don't think it kills snails either. Also, it is not a systemic fungicide, so if you have some infected orchids with Fusarium or other things, it will not work on curing them. However, what it can do is reduce the quantity of spores. With this diluted solution, I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna kill on contact everything, but I do think it does still have some properties, some antifungal properties, but for the full effect you should go with the recommended dosage on the bottle. So pretty much it will kill off spores and bacteria and everything else that is not inside an orchid. Once pathogens such as viri and fungi and even bacteria, they go inside an orchid and they start to create damage, this will not be useful anymore. You will need a systemic substance, one that enters the tissues of the orchid and makes it, let's say, poisonous for whatever is attacking it. So just to clear off the air, this is only a disinfectant, but at this point, this is what I need. So alrighty guys, I shall keep you up to date. We'll see how this goes. I am pretty excited about it. I really hope it's gonna work. All I want from it is to maintain the algae at bay or within humane limits at least. And if you can do more than that in the quantity that I use it, then I'm even more happier. So stay tuned for updates. The first thing that I will look at are the roots, and of course you'll be the first ones to know. And if you want to test out this product, then of course you should test it out on one or a few orchids. Don't go ahead and use it on your entire collection. And of course I'll link you down below in the description to places where you can find this product. I purchased it from eBay, but Orchid Supplies UK has it as well if you're in the UK, and other fun stuff of the sorts. So alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you found it useful. If you like to stay up to date or watch other orchid videos from me, simply subscribe to my channel. I post on a regular basis, and also don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!